It's snowing outside and it's super toasty in the car. I don't want to get out. It's gonna be super freezing cold outside, but like I'm about to go make a really dope video in the snow and I'm excited about that. And it can't happen unless I get out of the warm car and get into the cold. Let's do it. Top of this mountain up here, right through there. Woo! Look at this. I'm gonna have to kind of turn like this so it doesn't snow into the mic. When I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer. So I'm editing this video right now, and as I'm editing it, I'm realizing that I just kind of ramble on for a really long time about like my life story. That's not the point of this video. But I also have really good editing skills, so I'm going to edit this video to make it look like I said exactly what I wanted to say out there in the snow. When I was 13, I was diagnosed with cancer. That put my family into a very, very tight spot financially. We didn't have tons of money. We ended up getting into a lot of debt. I think that that is important to understand because it illustrates the fact that I really am coming from nothing. You know, I don't have a family that's rich. I want to create a family, and I don't want them to struggle with finances the way that me and my family always have. I've always had this idea to build a massive business that is sort of like a giant entertainment conglomerate. I have this fear whenever I look at the blank page and I think, all right, time to get to work, time to, jot all my dreams down on this piece of paper. Staring at that blank page is pretty scary. You don't want to make a mistake. And over the span of several years, I built a business, I got married, I went out and sold pest control. When I went out and did summer sales, it actually did help me the most. And what I discovered while I was out there was that I wanted to be really good at sales, so I would practice my pitch. When I went out and knocked doors, I would knock one door, say the pitch wrong, and be like, okay, I got to go back to the drawing board. I gotta get my pitch down. But I had a really good mentor, somebody who was teaching me summer sales out there. He's awesome. And that's why I'm wearing this hat, because he's a summer sales guy. And I really respect him. But he taught me that no matter how much practice you put in, how much studying you do, the best practice you're going to get is on the doors. You're going to go out, you're going to knock a door, you're going to mess up, and don't stop and practice. Go to the next door. When I look at the blank page, yeah, I want it to be perfect. I don't want to mess up, but you got to draw something crappy. You got to draw something terrible, and then you correct it as you go. I wasted way too much of my life just trying to run away from the blank page because I was afraid of it. I was trying to learn as much as I could before I hit the blank page, but really, you will never learn the things that you need to learn in order to create a masterpiece on that blank page by just looking at it. You need to get to work. You need to start painting, and it needs to be terrible. Because when you fail, when you make mistakes, that is how you succeed. You make those mistakes and you get better. I need to build this dream empire of mine. This is what I believe I was put on this earth to do, and so I have to do it. And I have to stumble the whole way, make mistakes and fail the whole way, and I know that I will succeed, but I'm going to need to stumble the entire way. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm committed, and I'm up on Instagram. I'm posting every day. Right now, the goal is to create an audience around my world. I've built a world, but as I was turning it into stories and movies, I was like, well, really, this thing needs to be a park. This needs to be like an environmental entertainment kind of a situation. And that was when Disney Plus was coming out, and I started watching the Imagineering story, and I was obsessed. And so I got diving, and I invented my own version of a theme park. And I created this idea in my head of a theme park that I want to do that is, something that the world just doesn't have right now. And that's what I want. That's the theme park that I want to go to, the theme park that I'm excited about. And I think that you'll be excited about it too. So chances are I'm going to need $15 billion to build the theme park that I want to build. So I had to reverse engineer my goals. If my dream is to build a theme park, then I had to take a step back. Well, what's the step before I build a theme park? Movies, video game. Okay, well, what's the step before movies and a video game? Books, card games, different little products like that really help my world feel alive. Well, how do I build something like that? Well, first I need money. At the least, I'm probably going to need like $30,000 to start the first product. So how do I get $30,000? Well, the thing that comes to my mind is crowdfunding. And so I figure, well, if I could get a crowd to fund, the first part of my dream, then we could work towards the next part of my dream, and then the next, and then the next, and then eventually it becomes everybody's dream, and then everybody wants to see it come to life. And that's really what's going to make this world. This world is for everybody. It's not just for me. In order to get it crowdfunded, the first step is to build an audience. And in order to build an audience, I need to be posting every single day. So right now I've nailed posting every single day to Instagram for Hammy Builds a World. But I haven't gotten it down for my world. The stories are going to be called Agrios. The magic system in this world is that magic kind of works like the internet, in that anybody can have access to it if you just have the right methods, the right tools. The invisible network of magical energy that anyone can access is called the Agrios, and that's what the story is about. It's called Agrios. If you want to look it up on Instagram, you can. If you want to look it up here on YouTube, you can. I think it goes by Agrios Legends on YouTube and on Instagram. If I want to build an audience, I first need to post consistently every single day. So right now my plan with that is to just figure out a way that I can post consistently, because right now, in order to flesh out this world, I really just need to generate images of AI. I don't have money to pay an artist, but that would be ideal, because although AI is pretty awesome and revolutionary, it still makes mistakes that only a human touch can fix, at least from what I've seen. And it's awesome to see it come to life. Sometimes it just hits it on the nail. Sometimes it can't. You know, there are some concepts about my worlds that I really just can't get AI to conceptualize. And so I'm going to leave those ideas to the artists, when I have the money to hire them on. Really, I'm trying to start a Kickstarter by July. But so in order to do that, I'm going to have to get lots of people who want to back this world. Lots of people who are interested in seeing this world come to life. Gosh, it's freezing. My toes are just gone. Still editing, still trying to get something across. I'm trying to post consistently. I have a YouTube channel and an Instagram for my Agrios world, universe. The goal is to post consistently, but I haven't been doing such a good job at that. I've come up with a goal that, okay, if I can post 3 times a week to the Agrios Instagram, no times a week or a month to the Agrios YouTube, once I can get that down, I can move on. So that was the first step. That was actually last week's goal. This week, my goal was, okay, can I do that again? Can I make another week where I do 3 videos and I post those 3 videos the week after? This week, I was able to succeed. I was able to make all 3 videos that I will be able to post next week. I just want to make sure if I can do 3 weeks in a row where I'm posting 3 times a week, I'm posting consistently, and that's really what matters. I did it for 1 week. I did it for a second week. I'm focusing on a 3rd week now. And then the week after, I'll be more focused on trying to post consistently to YouTube. It's really hard to make AI videos. It costs a lot of money, so I can't do that. But with ChatGPT, I have a monthly subscription. I can make as many images with ChatGPT as I want. I'm really just trying to make interesting videos depicting my world through AI images that I can use, that I can generate through ChatGPT. So that's what I'm going to continue to do for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully by the end of February, I will have it down to where I can post consecutively. It might not be once a day that I'm posting, but it might be 3 times a week. And if I can get something down like that, then I can stay consistent, and then we'll change the goal and we'll reevaluate from there. I'm freezing. I'm going to head inside. Thanks you guys for watching. Subscribe down below if you're interested in seeing this come to life, and I'll see you in the next one. Whoa, man, it's freaking cold!